know what? So normally with the pre-workout, I'll grab, like I am here, the beta-alanine, which I've been doing for almost a month now, which I really like. The pump squared, which is just glycerol. That gives me a crazy fullness when I'm training. But what I've been doing just for my leg days is adding a little bit more caffeine in it, since you know, I can use it at least on my leg sessions. So 1 scoop of the Christopher's Secret stuff, which is part of the Savage line Raw has I want to say it's just under 150 milligrams of caffeine. Yeah, 130. And then it's still dosed with, you know, the L-citrulline, has some beta-alanine itself, L-tyrosine, taurine, so get some good focus and good blood flow. And then when I add in the extra beta-alanine and pump, it makes for a pretty dang good session. So that's been a strategy, at least, is get a little more wild for these leg days. Now, I think they may or may not have this one in stock, but they do run out pretty quickly with the Savage line. But the other flavors of Savage Pre, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, are all similarly dosed with the same ingredients as this Chris's Secret stuff. I think that's just the flavor name. And then if they do have this in stock, it'll come with a red lid. Just kind of OCD, so I had an extra white lid laying around. I'm not saying they should have sold it with a white lid. I'm just saying it looks pretty good with
That's ridiculous.
I can't look at the camera right now because Zach's smiling at me. Looks good, man.
Yeah.
Looks good.
You saved the whole pre-workout with it.
That was clean. Look at that, man. Get close up. Give him some B-roll here. Look at that thing. All I'm saying, that's not the same in red. You know, that shot isn't the same. Colors aside, if you do want to pick anything up, links will be in the video description as usual. And since they are the sponsor, CodeMerc does support the channel as well, and that'll save you a bit. Usually covers shipping plus a little bit more. So appreciate you guys who order it, but really I'm glad you guys are getting some good quality stuff too. So I think that's it. I'm gonna down this. I'm gonna also take, because it's leg day, this guy with me, which is the intra workout carbohydrate, which is mainly just flavored clustered dextrin. So a quick digestion carb. I'll start sipping on that pretty much with the first set of the workout. I like to, so I feel like by the end of it, I'm starting to absorb some of what I'm drinking. Alright, so over time I've been adding a little bit of weight to these, and I feel like 20, 25, still sit there on that first rep for 10 or so seconds just to really feel the stretch, kind of open my calf up, and then going a bit lighter than what I can do for the first working set is kind of doubles as a warm-up as well. Now I'm able to really just connect with my calf and contract hard every single rep, whereas when I start adding some weight, that's a little bit harder to do, at least from the start. So now that I've got a good connection, I feel like I can perform it that much better going into the second set. Then I'm warmed up, I'm loose. I'm not just putting my max working weight on right from the start. So even with calves, I like to kind of warm them up just a bit before I really crush them. So similar to what I've been doing with training calves at the beginning of the workout, 4 sets on here, at least 20 reps each. The first 10 of the 20 reps are a little bit more controlled, where I'm coming to a complete stretch at the bottom, squeezing up all the way to pretty much 100%, and then giving it an extra 10, 20% kind of flex or pump at the top getting the weight up higher, getting a deeper squeeze into my calf, and then repeating that for the first 10, and then usually around halfway, that gets hard to do effectively, which is why the back 10 are just as best I can, complete repetitions, good control, good stretch, good squeeze, and yeah, I've been feeling it every set. So 4 of these seated, and then exact same methodology when I go over to the standing calf raise, and somewhere in there I should have a pretty decent calf pump. All right, it's been about a minute, so we'll get to this first real tough one. So before I get started, I think one should be enough. My legs are pretty warm already, even after those, especially those standing calf raises. I'm pushing pretty hard. So one warm-up set, about 8 reps. On here, about 75% of my working weight for the first set. That should be enough. Even another 30 seconds or so on getting the first of 4 working sets. Usually just do around 10 reps here. Don't go quite to failure. I don't know. I haven't tried that. I haven't tried really going to failure on multiple sets on the leg extension before going over to my first squat. I don't know. I don't know if I could tax them. I don't know. I really just need to try it. I don't know if I would tax my quads too much before going into the first squat, because usually I come in within a rep or two of failure, so I'm able to get good form, but I'm not doing like partials or anything on here. I'd rather save that for after the squat to put a little more into it, because I think I could crush my quads on here where I'm squatting half of what I would squat even with pre-exhausting my quads before the squat. So I think the standard, at least for now, usually does me pretty good, but maybe, I don't know. If I stop getting sore, then my body gets too used to this. I think then the drop sets and the partial reps, starting with 1 set, would be, could start being pretty beneficial before I squat, but this is enough stimulus for now where I'm getting out of this leg workout, my quads are crushed. So maybe that's the gauge to go by. Maybe 12 on this first one. Ooh. Oh man, that's good. So on here, as far as the execution goes, cooling down pretty dang hard to keep my glutes planted into the seat, so that's keeping my legs pretty stationary. And at the same time, I'm also pushing down toward my knee to keep the bottom half of my hamstring pushed down into the seat, and then that just gives me a nice stable base where I can control each rep. Squeeze up, mentally pause for a half second at the top, and then do my best to keep tension by controlling the negative portion back down. I can go a little bit heavier though. Oh, you know what? Doing the drop set on the last one. Couple sets to go before I get there. Yeah, we'll do that. Hit 10, 10 for set 2 and 3, and then roughly, and then 10 and 10 for the drop set on the 4th one. That'll mess me up pretty good. I mean, I know I'm gonna be sore, because I'm sore when I even don't do that drop set. Ah, damn, that's good. Let me give it a second before I stand up. Whew. I think on all those, at least 14 on most of those. I didn't even count that last second part of that drop set. I just did what I could, doing some partials at the end. Whew. These squats are gonna be tough, so this is where it's nice. I like, at least after pre-exhausting. You'll see next for my squat. I'm gonna go over to the Smith machine today. They got a good one here. Unlike the apartment gym, I get stuck with that like weird Smith machine where it's in a cage that moves, so it's not actually fixed. But this one's good, so I get some stability and kind of go a little bit narrow with my stance and just light up my quads for 4 sets on those. It'd be hard to control a barbell right now. Plus, it feels better for me regardless. Ooh, man, it was a good one, Zach. It was a good one. So with this guy, I also like to elevate my heels a bit. And I don't, like, proportionally, I'm not the tallest guy, but I do have longer legs for my height, so squatting can be a little bit strange. Shoot, my hips are damn near my chest, so in order to help out my squat, I've been elevating my heels just a little bit. This is what, maybe ½ an inch, but just enough where I'm able to keep my torso a little more upright. Because if I don't have my heels elevated, I feel like I have to compensate by leaning my upper body forward to get the depth I want to get. So this helps me keep the depth, and then I'm still able to drive through kind of the center of my foot toward the heel, like that back half of my foot, especially on the way up, out from the bottom. So if you got some longer legs proportionally, whether you're tall or not, I recommend trying it out. So yeah, just enough there, a little bit wider than my narrow stance. Rock and roll. Oh. All right, let's see. I'm gonna start the first working set. 2 plates, and that should be a pretty difficult 12, especially if I slow it down and focus on squeezing my quads to drive the weight up, and we'll go from there. That was much stronger, much stronger. Just adjusted my stance just a little bit, that's all I needed to do. Yeah, the second set, I think I went just a little bit too wide, and just enough where I didn't connect with my quads, so I should have, but that set, much better. One more. Whew. As I'm doing these, similar to that leg extension, I'm pulling, using the handles on the bottom of the machine to pull my upper body down into the pad, which keeps my glutes and my hips planted, and then do my best to get a good depth with control, drive it up, keeping the weight. It's kind of interesting, like at the top of the sled, the weight is more toward my heels, and then as I come down, the weight starts to transfer toward the middle of my foot, but then as I drive back up, that weight, then as I approach the top, transfers back toward my heel. So if I keep it in that zone throughout, it usually means I'm keeping good tension on my quad, assuming my feet are initially in the right position. So yeah, 3 more of these, and then I got dumbbell Bulgarian split squats to finish it, which I haven't done in a minute. I added them into this workout of the week from the app, and well, I gotta do them along with you guys who are following the app. So at this point, I'm not dreading them, but they're gonna be tough. It has been a good few leg sessions since I've done some dumbbell Bulgarian, so orient myself here. So I like to load the weight on the inside hand as opposed to the outside hand. So when I pick this thing up, it'll be on this one. My left arm if I'm squatting with my right leg. I'm trying to do it so there's not too much glute. Of course, there's gonna be a little bit, especially getting deep, but trying to keep these in my quads most, which means kind of walking my foot back a little bit, letting my knee go over my toe just a bit. Ah, yeah, right there. Just about 90. Ooh, come on. Come on, big guy. Be big one day. Ooh. Oh man, come on. Man, I'll tell you what, when I load that weight on the inside, get some good depth, the outer portion of my quad is firing like crazy on my way back up, which I need. I mean, shoot, I need it all, but that in particular, because proportionally, like I mentioned, for my height, I got a bit longer legs, so naturally, it's a little bit more length there to fill out. So that sweep has never been my strong suit. I mean, shoot, I don't even really consider it a sweep yet, and who knows, maybe one day how this leg works, especially if this is, every leg session or every week of training legs, I do 2 sessions, the quad focus, and then later in the week, I do the hamstring focus, which I'll eventually cover. But every one I do, try to raise the bar a little bit from that training. His legs were never a strong suit of mine. So maybe one day, all this leg training I'll get to show it off. We'll see. We'll see. But for now, a couple more sets of this before I'm out of here. Mike's almost out of battery. I am for sure almost out of battery. And so that's it for legs. Mine are cooked. Got a little bit of abs to do because usually with this training, I'll do abs every other day. I try to put them on the days where the workout's either a little shorter or I feel like I'll have the energy to really do them. When they fall on leg days, you just kind of got to get them done and not really think about it all that much. It's a good challenge. Oh man, I need some food in me. Ain't much else to say. That's a quad focused leg session. Thanks for sticking around for another video. I'll aiming to put another one up next week. Appreciate you guys. But what do I know? I'm just man.